Many of us have mindsets that hinder us from growing, thus creating a growth gap between where we are and where we want to be. But one of the first steps to actually bridging the gap is self-awareness. So in this video, we'll talk about 10 mindsets that may be hindering your own personal growth. Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Leafa, but you can call me Leafy. Let's jump straight into it. So mindset number 1 is the assumption that you will automatically grow. Kind of like with the passage of time for a baby to infant to childhood to teenage years, we tend to think that the older we get will be the wiser that we automatically get and the better that we get. But this is absolutely not the case. And even in that example, there are still conditions that need to be met for the proper, well-rounded growth of the child. Change is inevitable. So for example, growing older, that's inevitable. But growth is completely optional. And if you have goals and dreams and things that you want to accomplish, then it is absolutely imperative that you take charge of your own personal growth and development instead of waiting and hoping that time will somehow change you. Mindset number 2 says, I simply don't know how to grow. But knowledge is something that we can attain if we're intentional about it. If you don't have a plan for your personal growth, and I mean an actual plan and not just some vague idea in your head about what you want out of life, then it's so easy to go with the flow of life, causing you to have to learn from some kind of costly, challenging, or difficult mistake, or having you wait on some kind of moment of serendipity when everything just works out for you. But why would you leave your growth up to chances like that? If you don't have a plan for your personal growth, then I encourage you to make one. Being clear on what you want to do, where you want to go, the things you want to learn, the habits you want to create, and even the experiences that you want to have will free up the path for you to pursue those things in a disciplined manner. And if you need some support with actually creating your personal development plan, then feel free to reach out to me on social media or via email. I'll drop the links for those in the description box below. Mindset number 3 says, it's not the right time to start. One of my favorite quotes goes something like this: if you pile up enough tomorrows, soon you'll be left with nothing but a bunch of empty yesterdays. So many times we want to say we'll do it tomorrow or we'll do it at some later date, or now's just not the time. But if we're always waiting on the right time to get started with our growth, then we can't fall victim to the law of diminishing intent, which basically states the longer you take to act on your intentions and your goals is the harder it becomes to actually follow through with them, and the greater the chances are that you're not actually going to do it at all. That's why it's important to take action as soon as possible. It will keep your intentions and your motivations strong, especially when the challenges and difficulties of life arise, and it will prevent you from having the different areas of your life you want to grow in to actually become a reality instead of being those things that you look back on one day and wish you did. Talking about motivation, that's mindset number 4. I just don't feel like doing it. I actually did an entire video about this, so I'll leave a link to that in the description box below for you to check out after this video. I'll probably make a video for all of these mindsets and continue to update them in the description box, so feel free to check that out. Basically, this mindset says if we don't feel like doing it, it doesn't get done. You have a higher chance of acting yourself into feeling motivated to work on your personal growth versus feeling to work on it and then taking the actions required. Because you act, you'll see results, feel motivated, which will thus cause you to continue taking action. You will scarcely ever feel motivated to work on your personal growth. So don't wait on motivation. Start taking small steps and actions now to be intentional about your growth. Mindset number 5 says, I'm afraid of making mistakes. We've all been there. Growing is essential, but it's not always easy. It requires that sometimes you will make mistakes, that sometimes you will look a little silly, and that sometimes you have to admit that you don't have the answers to everything. But it's okay. No one generally likes those things, but it's part of the process of growth. If you really want to grow, then you need to let go of the fear of making mistakes. They are bound to happen. We don't look at a little baby that's now learning how to walk, trying to drink from a bottle or eat from a spoon. We don't look at them and chastise and say, what's wrong with you, you stupid little baby? You can't do some basic things like walking and drinking and eating.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
No, we don't do that. What do? We cheer them on, we encourage them on, and we help them instead. And if you saw me doing that, you'd probably think I have issues. But yet, we do that to ourselves when we're doing something new or learning about something, trying to grow. Know that making a mistake does not mean that you've failed, but rather a mistake is another way of doing something. Whether it's a good way of doing something or not, once it's something that you've actually learned and grown from. By starting now, we can make progress, learn from our mistakes, and modify our approach as needed going forward. If you're getting value from this video so far, then do me a favor, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss another video like this. Mindset number 6 says, I have to find the best way before I start. Whew. This was me, admittedly. Before I started doing something, I would have to find the best possible way to do it or the best thing to get it done. And it's not that having the best methodologies for doing things is bad, but I can't tell you the amount of things that this has hindered me from doing and the prices I have had to pay as a result of waiting for perfection. Much like waiting for the perfect time to start, waiting for things to be perfect can lead to a lot of missed opportunities and wasted time. Because the reality is you have to actually start moving before you can find the best way. So the things that you may think are the best in theory may not actually be the best in practice. If you're waiting for things to be perfect and you don't get going, you're going to spend a lot of time waiting. Don't wait on finding the perfect ways, the perfect exercise, the perfect gym, the perfect everything in order to start working on your growth. Start now and learn and grow until you can get it better and better and better. Mindset number 7 says, other people are better than me or more ahead than I am. Comparing ourselves to others is so detrimental to our personal growth. There will always be somebody who's better or somebody who's further along than us, and that's okay. Everyone has their own unique journey, but if we fall into the trap of comparison, then it can make us feel as if our own growth is insignificant and we can feel inadequate. We can start to doubt ourselves and wondering why we're even working on ourselves. But instead of comparing ourselves to others, we should actually work on our own progress, celebrate our own successes, our own achievements, and learn from our own mistakes and press forward. But you know what I've actually found, which was a mindset shift that helped me a lot, is that people being further ahead of me is actually a good thing for me. So now I can start showing up in the places and the spaces where these people are and learn from them. They're willing to share their knowledge and their experience and how they've done things with me, and now I can learn from them. Being in that space and being intentional about it, I can and I will grow. Mindset number 8 says, I thought it would be easier than this. Nobody ever promised us that growth is going to be easy. But it's important to remember that growth is not linear. We tend to want it to look like start, progress, win. But it tends to look a lot more like start, progress, fall back, up and down. Basically a roller coaster. We want things to be like having an overnight success, but an overnight success is actually the compound effect of work day in and day out. Think about it. If you took 2 years to gain 30 pounds and you're trying to lose that weight now, one exercise is not gonna do it. If you've ever worked out and then checked immediately for abs, I'm looking at you. Whether some things are easy or a bit more challenging, it's okay, so long as you're on the right path. Chances are it will definitely be worth it. These first 8 mindsets were actually adapted from a book I'm getting so much value from, and I'll drop a link in the description box also. It's called The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth from John C Maxwell. But after giving it some thought, I actually came up with 2 additional mindsets that may be hindering you. So mindset number 9 says, I'm not in the right environment to grow. Whilst I do believe that being in the ideal environment can help you to grow and to thrive much faster or much easier, I don't necessarily agree that it's always the conditions that you need to start working on your personal development. You may have heard this before, but grow where you are planted. I'm always amazed at some plants that I have in the yard that grew in from some very, very, very tiny crack in the concrete. Do what you can with what you have and where you are. Even if the circumstances may not be perfect, sometimes we need to be intentional about making a space to foster growth in whatever little way that we can, so that we can actually work on changing our environment, moving to new environments that will foster even more growth. Regardless of where you are, there are opportunities for you to learn and grow when you are intentional about thriving no matter the circumstance. And mindset number 10 says, I've already got gotten so far. Look at all the great things I've already done. This has everything to do with your potential. On one hand, it can encourage you and cause you to strive for greater things, for higher heights, but on the other hand, it can actually hinder your growth if you become complacent or even overconfident in your abilities and your accomplishments. It can cause you to think that your last accomplishment was your greatest accomplishment, or it can cause us to overlook the areas in our lives where we need to continue growing. Potential is something that will always be with us. Because we're so full of potential, we are still not yet where we possibly could be. And this is not to be a discouragement or to make you feel as though, well, what's the point in growing, but to help you to see that there's so much inside of you to be maximized, so much limitless potential. And that's because God is limitless. And so when we begin to settle and just accept the way that we are, we run the risk of losing all of the growth and the potential that still lies within us. The sooner you make the decision to work on your personal growth, the better it will be, because growth compounds and has the ability to accelerate you in so many areas of your life. And just remember that growth is inevitable, but change is optional, and to make it lasting, it's got to be intentional. Whether it's the fear of making mistakes or comparison or having certain expectations, know that one of the first steps is identifying these areas and then putting a plan in place to help you overcome and to help you grow. If you got value from this, then don't forget to like, leave a comment down below, share this video with a friend who needs to uncover the mindsets that may be hindering them from their own personal growth. And don't forget to subscribe for more personal and professional development videos from me. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in another one.